5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Wonderful. Yes, we are on live now. You may begin.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the presentation of today. My name is Jose Valeriano, and I am pleased to introduce you to today's presenter, Juana Espinoza de Ayestas. We'll be talking about pedagogy, transforming teaching and learning. Juana Espinoza de Ayestas has a graduate degree in TESOL from the National Pedagogical University, has been an ESL professor since 2009, and is a U.S. Embassy accredited teacher trainer since 2008, as well as a certified trainer of trainers since 2010. Presenter at TESOL 2011, 2014, 2017, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023. She is currently an ESL professor at Zamorano University, working on the development of communication at the beginner and intermediate levels, and a member of Helta TESOL board. Also, she participated in Mexico 2010, Costa Rica, Panama, and Peru in Helta TESOL from 2015 and 2020. So please welcome Juana Espinoza de Ayestas. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. As you said, I am working at Zamorano University, that is an agricultural university here in Honduras, and a very prestigious one in Latin America. And also I am Helta member, and I am happy to be here. Thank you for the invitation. It's my alma mater, so I am so happy to share with you, to learn from you all, and welcome to this session to all my colleagues. So I am going to start talking a little bit about this topic, and I am going to share my presentation. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. I want to talk a little bit about this new topic that was new for me, and I have been reading about this information about pedagogy. That is something that is supporting my teaching practice in my classroom, and I want to share with you some information and my experience working with digital tools. So at the beginning, I am going to talk about this, and then I am going to talk about how this pedagogy is part of the digital age for language teaching and learning to support social and emotional learning. It is important to talk about the advantages and disadvantages also. And I am going to show some two links to websites that I'm being using to develop some activities with my students. And also I am going to share with you two projects, one project that is in this presentation, and I am going to talk about the other one that where I am using AI to enhance speaking and writing with my students in different levels, okay? So, first of all, and to start this, I would like to invite you to use the chat box to comment, to make questions, and also if you have another ideas that can help me to improve my information to share with all the colleagues, please feel free to do it, and I am going to be more than happy to collaborate with you also, okay? So let's continue with this, and this is the topic pedagogy. As you can see, as you can read, and can you imagine, this is the combination of pedagogy, that is what we have learned in our university, and artificial intelligence that is supporting our teaching and learning practice. It was through pandemic and after pandemic that I'm using more digital tools to support my classes, because I understand that we are in another age with a different generation of students, and I understand how they like to be working and interacting with digital tools. So this is one definition, the simple one that I can tell you, that is it's something that I know that you have done also, but we wanted to go deep using this, not just to make as a digital tool, a PowerPoint presentation or a video. We are trying to use AI to develop critical thinking also, to allow the students to practice ethics, and also to motivate them to be creative and be aware of innovation, because after the classes, they can implement or apply, they can apply the new knowledge and the new tools with another classmates, another friends, and in this way, we are helping each other. So this is PedAlgogy, and as I told you before, we are in another generation with working with a new generation of students, and what is the role of PedAlgogy in the digital age. And I understand this, that for the students, it could be something simple and easy to work with, to interact, but I have found that our students have the skills, the social media skills, but when they are in the classroom using new tools, it's something that they need to get familiar to understand everything and to understand how they are going to apply and how this is going to help them to learn something new. Thing is, they need to understand also the free access technology and also the institutional ones, because it depends on the context. That I have the opportunity to work with both open access and institutional, and I have to train the students in their use and how to navigate or explore these digital tools. So the other one is the resources that for the students, they need to have the resources, and this is helping for their adaptive learning platforms, and also to go to the open access and feel free to work and use or follow the instructions to create a project or something that we were learning in the classroom, but they want to combine or support with AI. Another thing that is very important to mention with this topic is that the online ethics, that it's something that we need to take care of, because we need to train our students to understand that we need to respect, even when it is free access, we need to respect the copyrights and also the intellectual property to present something. So it is to practice this and to understand this, that is related with the moral values. And the independent learning, it's another thing that in this digital age and using AI is something that our students can develop, and they can feel free to use AI at the moment that they want to develop something that is not part of our classroom activities, but they can develop some work and activities and also innovate with another project using digital tools and enhancing their independent learning. But also with the AI in this digital age, is a challenge for us as teachers, because we need training. When we were face to face, it was easy to understand everything, to try to include or incorporate digital tools, but through pandemic, we had to do it yes or yes, because we didn't have another opportunity. We learned through the work and our teaching and learning process, but also we need to have like a training in the use of these digital tools. We have to have the resources, and we have to have access to the digital platforms, open access or institutional. As I told you before, I have this opportunity. That's why for me, has been like very supportive to use this in my classroom. And also we have to take care of, it's a challenge for the teachers to detect, for example, the plagiarism activities or actions. That's why we need to encourage our students to avoid plagiarism and apply the academic integrity. So with this, we have the opportunity to let the student to understand their needs, their opportunities, how they can interact with the screen, and how they can feel that they are part of this, and that we as teachers are having the sense of property with this technology, and apply this with our students. So pedagogy also has an important role to support the social and emotional learning. Why? Because it's through these digital tools that students can interact or can collaborate with another classmate and also teachers, and try to imagine how they can enhance their learning using the digital tools, but applying this for a social and emotional concept. For example, with pedagogy in social and emotional learning, the students had the opportunity to reflect about their own learning and interact through the screen or in groups with their classmates. Also, they enhance their social media skills because they interact in the same way. But something that's very important is how they learn about the decision making, because they have to understand that they have to respect that the culture of respect that they need to put into practice when they have to present something that is taken, or that they when they are using AI and in activities in the classroom. So social and emotional learning is a very important aspect that we need to take care, because that we need to be aware, better said, because after pandemic, it's something that we are noticing that our students need to enhance, and we need to enhance this aspect in our classrooms and in our teaching and learning process. Also, I would like to show you a little bit how can we use AI in EFL, some tools that I have some links that I would like to share with you, just for you to explore them, to imagine how can you combine this information with your teaching practice, and how can you innovate in your assessment of activities, in your evaluations, in your oral or reading, or in listening or reading skills for our students, to develop everything in our students, and also to develop critical thinking. And I want to talk a little bit about this, and how to cooperative learning is something very important that we can adapt when we are using AI in our teaching and learning process. For example, here I have 2 links that I'm been using with my students in different levels, because this is something very important to mention that you can adapt the information, the AI information to the different levels. And also it gives you the opportunity to imagine how can you level up the activities using AI. And it is the same. The students have to get familiar with this. They have to have the resources. They have to respect the academic integrity that we need to put into practice. And they develop independent learning through grammar, vocabulary, and creativity or innovation. And it is the same for us as teachers, that we need to have the training, the resources, the access to the digital platforms, apply everything that is related to the academic integrity, and also that is the same as important as the other ones, is that the alignment with the content, because we are not going to use AI tools just because we like the page, or it's something just to put the students to practice or whatever, but it is important to align this to our content and imagine how the students, or allow the students to imagine how they are going to apply this and how this is going to help them to grow as a student and to have another learning. And here I have the first one, that is education.com. That is a free access page in which, as you can see, we have some different sections by grades here, as you can see here. And also you can choose any section of it depending on the topic that you would like to reinforce with your students. And also you can make connections with one section and another, and your teaching. So this is a very beautiful, this is a very important page. And I invite you to go to this page and explore everything that you can do and create your own project using an AI when you are teaching something different or different topic, or to reinforce your topics. The other app is Small Talk to Me. In this app, I was working with this app. I was working with my students, especially for speaking. I was using this general speaking course, and all my students are enrolled in this course. And we have some practice into the classroom, and also as a homework, just for them to practice and put into practice the new knowledge also. And the beautiful thing of this is that they can interact, they receive a feedback from the same page. I am going to show you how. Let me check this here, just give me here. Yeah, this is part of this course in which the students have to listen to and watch this video, listen to the information, the speech, and then answer these questions. And once they are ready to answer the question, they can record their questions, and after that, they will receive the digital feedback. I am going to show you, just for you, just to listen a little bit and to try to understand what could be the answers of these questions. I don't know if you can hear, Jose Valeriano.
Well, I don't know if you're playing it right now, but I couldn't hear anything.
Okay, it is because I didn't activate the. Let me see, I am going to share again. And now I'm here. Sorry. No, it's not. It's this one. Yes, this. So this is
Who are you going to be? And if you'll notice, I'm not asking what are you going to do, but who are you going to be? I'm asking you about how you plan to live your life every day. How are you going to respond when you don't get that job you had your heart set on? For all of you who are going to be teachers, what are you going to do if the students in your class next year just don't respond to your lessons? For all of you going into business, how will you react when your boss gives you a goal that feels way too high? See, these are the moments that define us. Not the day you get the promotion, not the day you...
So this is part of the information, and the student have to listen the complete speech, then answer the questions, and once they are ready, they can start recording and okay. And at the end, what they receive is this feedback. For example, related to, it has to do with confidence, grammar expert, influence, talent, and they have another categories that once you are in this page, you can see if it works for you. But it is important because the students have the opportunity to evaluate and self-evaluate their performance through this activity. I don't know if there are some questions so far. I am going to open the chat. Okay, yes, thank you. If you have some question or something to add to the information, please feel free to do it. And then now I am going to talk about working with everything related to digital tools, AI. It is important to mention that we are going to find advantages and disadvantages depending on our context, our activity, the levels that we are teaching, but it is especially in the use of this AI technology. And some advantages that I have found are that they promote the digital literacy, engagement, assessment, self-assessment, and also we can use AI to evaluate, to receive feedback and learning. And also an important is the contextualization, because we have to understand that this is a virtual reality when we are using some AI tools, and we can go through real information and activities like games that the students can use, and they are going to be contextual. We can contextualize the information. For example, in agriculture, that is the field that I'm working in English with my students, I am contextualizing everything, my topics in English. I'm linking or connecting this information with the agriculture and using the technological tools. And some disadvantages maybe are here. I have only some of them. You can find that maybe more advantages or more disadvantages that according to your practice and how you're using AI tools. And some disadvantages are that the access to the technology, if we don't have the resources, if we don't have access to internet also in our schools or universities, dependency to these AI websites. We don't want to, we have to think that this is just to support our teaching practice, not that we are going to take in as true everything that we're going to find through AI tools. The copyrights, that sometimes we don't have information that could be valid and reliable. That, as I said, that the last one, that the reliability of the information. As I told you, there are some of the disadvantages. I'm reading the chat also, And are these apps free of cost? Yes, they are free access. The one that I was sharing with you, and I have a list of other ones that I would like to share with you. If you have the opportunity to take a picture, you can do it. Also, you can contact me if you want to share more about this, because 1 hour is not enough. And I am going to be more than happy to interact about this topic with you. So let's continue. And I want to say that I want to talk a little bit about my experience using PedAlgogy in my classrooms. And this is like, what you can see is what is an activity that I'm developing with my students, and it is to enhance speaking. And I'm using TikToks. That is a site where the student can find information, real information, valid information from presenters of the topic that they are interested to talk and to learn also and present about it. They use the same topic. They look for information through ChatGPT. And with this, the intention with it is to show them that they have the opportunity to add extra information to the topic, because through ChatGPT, they can define subtopics and extra information, another information that it could be new for them, and maybe they can think that is something relevant to present. And at the end, they have the opportunity to choose an AI platform or app to create a video and present the information. They have to paraphrase the information. They can repeat some words or phrases or sentences, information that can be changed, but they have the opportunity to create their own video and upload the video to our platform to be evaluated, to be graded. So as you can see, I'm using digital tools, AI tools for the students to feel that they are interacting with the information. They can work in groups, they can work in pairs, they can develop the activity, and they can present it. And as you can see, the topic, for example, is for agriculture, because my English class is addressed to use English in agriculture. So, and it is, as I wanted to say, to have the same information, get familiar, digital literacy, training resources for our challenges, but through the practice, you will find how interesting is this, the use of these AI tools, and how you can innovate and create new content and new in activity for our students. And it is the same when I have my focal groups with my students. They said that this is something that in which they feel that they are using the computer, using the cell phone, reading, and also they have the opportunity to listen. And with this, they think that they are learning and putting into practice what we are studying in class. And the other project that is for writing is that students have to invent a biography, but they have to create a character and use AI to create an avatar with the trait that they think, for example, if they have a photographer or a teacher, a doctor, and they can write a biography. But what I am going to evaluate through this project is how they are incorporating that grammatical point. So they can check or take a biography through ChatGPT or another AI or another information related to a biography, but they have to make some adjustment to the biography that they already have, incorporate the grammatical point, and create the avatar. And also they can put a sound to the presentation, and I can see like if the avatar is narrating the biography. And it's a lot of information through AI that we can incorporate to our activities and make it more meaningful for our students, and they feel that they are interacting and they are not feeling boring with our homeworks. That is something that had to be very important for us. And here, what I have are some links. My intention was to have like a workshop to give the opportunity to go through these links, to analyze the information, the apps, and also make a combination as I showed before, to create an activity to enhance any of our 4 skills and also critical thinking. But at the beginning, I understood that we can do it at this time, but I would like to share with you these links. And if you try and go over this information, and if you have some questions, please just use write in the chat box, and we're going to be interacting. I changed the activity because I don't have the control to do this, but I invite you to see if you have time today or tomorrow, or once you are planning your class. So please try to do it and try to incorporate AI. What I want to tell you is that as teachers, we have all the power because we have the knowledge. AI tools are just supporting our activity, but it never is going to replace us. So we have to understand that it's not AI what is creating. We are creative. So we have to put into practice our sense of innovation and invite our students to be to innovate in their doing their homeworks or through their performance in the classroom. And thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed the presentation, and I would like to hear from you or read from you through the chat because we have time to interact.
Thank you.
Questions, colleagues? Also, you can, if you can open your mic, better for me. Okay, I am going to ask him. Okay. Through the chat, right?
Hello, Miss. How are you?
Hello.
It's good to see you.
Celaya,
Hi, it's
how
nice
are you?
to
Nice
see
to
you.
see you.
I'm happy to see you too. Thank you for your
Okay.
presentation. It was very interesting because you were giving us a lot of ideas on how to work with the students and challenge them, you know, because we are a little bit scared of artificial intelligence. And absolutely, it is challenging for us like teachers, right? But I wanted to ask you about the reaction of the students. How do they react to your assignments? Do they feel comfortable? Do they feel challenged? And I was also wondering, that is one question, and I was also wondering about the number of students that you have, because it is basically like doing personalized exercises for the students. And I was just thinking about the number of students that we have at the UPN And I was like, oh my goodness, we have like 40 or 45 students in each one of the sections, or 50 even. I mean, like general English, we have like what, 50,
Yeah.
55, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, oh my goodness, 55 students, what am I gonna do? I mean, this is basically personalized. So I was just wondering about that. If you could give us a little bit of information. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Zelaya. Thank you for your questions. As you said, this is an activity in which we have to invest a lot of time grading. Okay, but it's part of our identity as teacher to invest extra time for grading. But in my case, I have 25 students in each course, okay? I have 6 courses at this time, and with all of them, I am applying this kind of activities, level up in some ones, or more basic in another ones, but letting them to try to use AI. And also I have the opportunity to let them to create their own homework or activity using AI, because they feel comfortable, they are happy to be using the the digital tools. And also because in class we said, you don't have to use the cell phones, you have to use your computer. No, I forgot my computer, but you don't forget your cell phone. We understand in Zamorano that the cell phone is part of their identity, but we are working that the computer is part of their identity too. So my experience is so nice with them. They are feeling happy when they are working, and I am trying to do more flipping classroom. I am recording the topics for them to go to the classroom and start listening to my presentation and create the activity, work on the activity, following the instructions using AI. But I have, as I told you before in my presentation, the opportunity of to apply free access or institutional digital tools. But it's my context. I respect and understand that in our country, we have this difficulty that we don't have access to internet and we don't have the resources to implement this that is part of our generation, the students' generation that we are working with right now, especially after pandemic, where they were taking online classes. They don't want to have online classes, but they want to interact through the computer.
Thank you so much. Just another question based on what you said, and I'm sorry that I am
don't worry, I am happy with your questions.
All the resources that you use are for free, or there are some resources that the students have to pay for using them, or the institution, you know, has to pay for them? I was wondering about that. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Zelaya. Yes, I'm using free access, and also the institutional ones, in which the institution are paying everything and giving access to our students to use their digital tools. Yes. Another question? Colleagues?
Hello.
Hello, Lisette.
Lynette.
Lynette, sorry.
It's okay. Yeah, it's not like a very common
as
name,
I told you at the beginning, I am not part of the digital age, because I need my eyes to read your name.
Yeah, we do need them. Thank you very much for sharing with us what you were explaining a while ago about AI. I was just thinking about what you were just mentioning about the contexts that we have, and I was just thinking about our context. Like, for example, at university, we have a project that it's like a diplomado for students, and we have students like from different parts of the country. And we teach the class of English virtually. So I was just thinking how great it is that we have all these tools, but how difficult it is also to use them with students. Because, for example, in our case, we have the difficulty of internet, just as you mentioned a while ago, right? So one thing that we have observed is that students most of the time struggle even getting connected by Zoom. So I know your context is different, and I know that we as teachers need to be creative on how to use these tools and to know when to use them and when not to use them because of the type of students that we have. So if we have this situation that I was explaining to you, what would your recommendation be? Like, do you think that it's still like suitable for us to try to make our students work on AI? Because it's a fact that the world that we live in right now, it's different to what it used to be. Like, the students that they are going to have later in their classrooms, probably they are going to know more about technology than what they do now. So when we have these students, when they struggle with getting connected just by Zoom, just as I said, what should we do with them? Like, do you think that we should still like include that in the classes that we have with them in synchronous time? Or should we let them like just have like at least demonstrations of what can be done by using AI? What do you think we should do with all these different contexts we work on?
Yeah, thank you for your question, Lynette. A lot of questions in one question, right? Yeah, it's as teachers we have that. Yeah, thinking about that. Now, you know, independently the context, all the students or parents have access to a cell phone, so we can take advantage of a cell phone to use some apps that are for cell phone and include this in our activities development. Another thing is that remember that the first thing that we have to have as teacher is the motivation to motivate our students to accept the challenge to do something different, virtually or face-to-face. I understand, and believe me, I don't want to be teaching virtually anymore because in pandemic we did it and we had to adapt all our content, and activities that we were doing face-to-face to online practice. Even in Zamorano, when we have where we have the learning by doing models, everything was online, and we had to be creative and motivate our students to be in the online session. And what we did was to work through the session, the AI and the digital tools activities. It was like a change of dynamic because we sent information through the platform for them to be ready and prepared to go to the online class. And in the class, through the session, virtual session, we were developing the activities. This was the success that I think we had in Zamorano because we changed it. Instead of to assign the homework, we were working in the virtual session. And this is another, what was the other question? Recommendations. And it's an excellent question because I forgot to tell you that AI is not just to work or develop activity with our students. It's also for us as teachers. I share with you one ChatGPT, or the other that is, let me read the name. It is part of the list that I was sharing with you, and I found it terrible and amazing to use. Is Perplexity. it's the name of the website, the AI site, in which you can try to have a lesson plan, for example, or create activities for this context or for this grade. And it is amazing how AI is going to give you ideas and ideas and ideas, and you don't have to take all the ideas. You have just to pay attention to the ideas that can connect with your reality. That is the thing that I think is our opportunity to grow. This is giving me a professional growth because I have the opportunity to read, to research, to think if this applies to this one or to the other one. Now I know that this AI page or app is connected with ChatGPT, but this has another characteristic like that. I can see the source of the information from this information that I'm reading was taken. So I don't know if this is answering your questions.
Thank you very much.
Yes, and the thing is that I invite you, colleagues, to use AI, not just to create activity, but also to see. Sometimes we are fossilized with the same template to create a lesson plan or the same activities. If you go through these pages and ask, create a lesson plan to teach in a specific topic, irregular verbs, for example, you are going to find a lot of information and ideas that you can implement. You don't need to implement everything. You just need to take the one that is pertinent to the needs of your student, for example, or your classroom or your teaching practice. Something else? Tell me, what is your experience using AI in the classroom? Experience? Aha, Jose Valeriano, tell me.
Well, yeah. Well, I am a student, and I've been studying like for 2-3 years, so I have, like, I have had contact with these technologies. I don't like using
Absolutely.
them to create like something creative, for example. I don't like it because I think that diminishes the purpose of learning something. But sometimes it happens that you are blocked and you have no idea where you can start. So I think for this, and as a student, I usually have a lot of assignments to make lesson plans and stuff like that. So I don't have the idea, or I don't know the grammatical point, or I don't know maybe the time, how many activities I can do in these minutes. So sometimes I just need some clarity, So when I put that there, give me ideas for that, maybe, for example, and it's more efficient than, let's say, Google, because Google shows you a lot of pages and it's not all the information that you want, but these AI tools can help a lot to at least have an idea of what you need to do, because it's not likely that they give you everything that you need, but you can adapt it to what you need in your classroom. So that's what I've seen.
Yeah, excellent, Jose Valeriano. As you said, we are the teachers. We know what to do, how to do it, and we are using digital tools, AI in this case, just to support our ideas, to have another point of view. As you said, for example, sometimes we have interviews and we have the same questions for this interview activity. But if you use AI to create questions, you're going to see that you're going to find the ones that you already have and extra questions that you can make or adjust to your own reality, to your own context. Yeah, it's not to give AI the total credits about our teaching practice. It is that AI is supporting our teaching practice. Because it's something that I told you before, never it's going to replace us. But sometimes we need to wake up and think beyond what we already know, what we already have, and try to innovate and try to be creative and be in our students' shoes to think from in the way that they are thinking. For example, they love to be interacting through the digital tool. So let's go, let's do it. We have to do it. And as Dr. Zelaya said, the time to grade all these projects, believe me, is during the free time, no class time, no free time, when we don't have the space in which we don't have classes, we have to be grading the projects. But it's rewarding to know and to see from our students the enthusiasm that they are presenting through the homeworks and how they want to learn. And they are, in this case, they are learning English, but also they are learning new topics about agriculture.
And,
yeah, and we have a platform, and what we do is to adapt the information that we have in this is an online book. We can see and read and study from the online book, but also we have to adapt this information to the agricultural field.
And one more thing, I think one thing that these tools have highlighted is the importance of getting to know your students a little bit more, because, you know, there will always be that student that just lets the AI do everything for them. But you need to know, you know, if you know how they behave, how they act in the classroom, let's say, for example, now you kind of know if they come up with something super good, to be critical about it, you know, like think, did they really do this? You know, like keep that in mind, because if you accept just any assignment without checking them, or like just kind of looking them at the surface level, you won't know. So I think that's important.
Yeah, and another thing that I would like to share with you is that at the beginning, to introduce the project, to use TikTok's ChatGPT and another AI, a video application or app, was that at the beginning I developed an activity, and then I requested to the student to look for a topic, any topic, in internet, TikToks, and whatever. And then the second part was the same topic as we did in a project through ChatGPT. And at the end, they were telling me, we are going to change it because we found that it's better to talk about this or the other or another subtopic, or how they are connecting, because it's a part of the project to connect the information that they are reading to their a real scenario or real situation, to create the sense of critical thinking and decision making, problem solving, and they are learning more if I go to the front, explain the topic, give a list of vocabulary, develop an activity to write something. When they are doing this, they feel that they are doing something that it's related to their needs.
Absolutely.
Well, so Jose, 100%. I'm kidding. And Lynette and Dr. Zelaya. No, I'm kidding. Okay, yeah. I would like to hear from you, your reality. What do you think about this?
There are some comments in the chat. Check them out.
See, it's very important to get to know these tools so we can teach students to use them properly. Yes. And remember that we have the students are totally different in each group. If you plan a class with one group, it's going to be totally different with another group. The same AI, the same activities, the same topic, but we have different experiences when we are teaching with different groups, same levels. And also when we have different levels, you know, I can incorporate one activity to all the levels that I'm teaching, and with all of them, I leave from the classroom with another perspective, with a new learning from me, and I enjoy to do that with my students. Okay. So, another opinion or comment? Okay, so thank you very much for being here. I enjoyed my presentation. Thank you for your participation. Thank you for your questions. I have to say that I am going to be for you at any time if you want to know or to do something. If you consider that I can help you, please just let me know. I love my alma mater, and I love my teachers. Dr. Zelaya that is here was my teacher also. And please feel free to contact me, and it's going to be amazing if we can create or innovate to develop a project with your students, with my students. So you just let me know, okay? Thank you very much for your participation, and hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye-bye. See you.
Bye.
One more thing, sorry, for everyone, remember that you can have the sway link. You can look at the sway link if you want to see the other presentations for tomorrow. That is the last day of the conference. And again, thank you to our presenter, Ms. Juana. Your presentation was very, very good and useful. And for everyone that was here with us today. So thank you again, and have a good night, everybody.
Okay.
Night.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
See
Good
you.
night.